जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा So we are continuing with Sri Caitanya Charitamrta Adi Lila chapter 3 starting from verse number 82. Upapuraneha Shuni Sri Krishna Vachana Kripa Kari Vyasa Prati Kari Achena Kathana. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. In the Upapuranas, we hear Sri Krishna showing his mercy to Vyasadeva by speaking to him as follows. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmanitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So here in this verse, for the first time in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, we are hearing the word Upapuranas. There are 18 Upapuranas. I was looking up. Excuse me. So the 18 Upapuranas are Sanat Kumara Purana, Narsimha Purana, Nand Purana, Shivadharma Purana, Samba Purana, Naradiya Purana, Kapilam Purana, Manava Purana, Aushanasa Purana, Mudgala Purana, Varuna Purana, Kalika Purana, Maheshwara Purana, Ganesha Purana, Saura Purana, Vishwakarma Purana, Vishnu Dharmottara Purana, and Bhargava Purana. These are the Upa Puranas. So we can learn from this that the Vedas, the Puranas, the Upanishads, they are so vast. It's difficult for us to even remember the names of these Upapuranas. So what to think about, what is inside those Upapuranas, the knowledge which is in there. But
they are different from Puranas and Upapuranas. They're talking about
Upapuranas, yes. I personally don't have a lot of knowledge about Puranas and Upapuranas, but what I've heard is Puranas, there are a lot of stories that we learn moral of those stories so that we can apply them in our day-to-day life. Here, it is being said that Krishna is showing his mercy to Vyasadeva, his own incarnation. Vyasadeva is his own incarnation, but to set an example, to show us how to receive the mercy. So here he's giving mercy, showing mercy by speaking to him. Thanks to Srila Prabhupada, he condensed, of course, the Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of all the Vedas, and Bhagavad Gita is the essence of that. So Srila Prabhupada made it very easy for us so that we can understand the whole purpose of the Vedas, the whole purpose of the Puranas. And what do we find there? Whatever knowledge we get from there, if we put it into practice, we get the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Let's see verse number 83. Aham eva kvachid brahman sanyasashramam ashritaha hari bhaktim grahayami kalau papa hatan naran. Translation. O learned Brahmana, sometimes I accept the renounced order of life to induce the fallen people of the age of Kali to accept devotional service to the Lord. It's talking about us, fallen people of Kali Yuga. So how merciful he is. He is accepting sannyas. Sannyas order is not easy. You know, in the Bhagavad Gita, excuse me, we learn where Arjuna is asking questions and Krishna is answering them about what is sannyas, renunciation, and what is not only just the order of renunciation, but what exactly is the meaning of renunciation. It is all in the consciousness. Yes, physically, some devotees do take sannyas, those who are very, very advanced, for propagating Krishna consciousness. But more importantly is the renunciation in consciousness. Right? We may still be living in the family life. We may still be, taking care of family, children, jobs, whatever it may be we are doing. But if there's renunciation as far as the consciousness goes, then we are on the right path. As Srila Prabhupada says, in Kali Yuga, it's not necessary to take sannyas. But here we see that to show us how to perform devotional service, the Lord takes sannyas order of life. He doesn't need to. In consciousness, he's already a sannyasi, right? He's everything. But to show us with his example that how we can lead a life which is actually on the same consciousness as a sannyasi, as a renounced person who's in the renounced order of life. And he says people in Kali Yuga are fallen. Is that a qualification or disqualification?
Qualification.
Yes. Why? It is both qualification. Why is it a qualification? Because they are so fallen. Krishna is giving us a very simple method: chant and be happy. Simple. Very simple process. He comes as a devotee, shows us how to be a devotee, how to perform devotional service, and go back to Godhead. Now, why sannyas order of life why is he accepting that? Because, especially in India, people take sannyasis very seriously. Yes or no? You see a sannyasi, immediately you bow down, you have that respect, whether you like it or not. It's natural. That is the power of a sannyas order of life, a sannyasi. So, knowing that fallen people in Kali Yuga, they are not going to accept, Krishna consciousness just like that. He had to take the sannyas order of life just to show us mercy. So, people in Kali Yuga are fallen because, first of all, they do not want to be spiritual. They just want to enjoy life, eat, sleep, and be merry. Enjoy the senses. What can I get that is going to satisfy me? Yes or no? We see that on a daily basis. Sometimes we even see devotees getting attracted, to sense gratification. So here, people in Kali Yuga, they need reminders. Just like little children are given, even older children, even adults are needed reminders. Yes or no? Amongst the spouses also, remember you have to bring palak, remember you have to bring dhania, remember, right? And then also text it again. And then call and say, did you pick this up? Did you do that? Did you do that? Everything like that. Right? So similarly, everybody needs reminders, and that is why again and again we hear the same story. We have heard it in Bhagavad Gita, we heard it in Srimad Bhagavatam, now we are hearing it in Caitanya Caritamrta also. What? Krishna consciousness, how to be a devotee. And of course, in Bhagavad Gita, we also learned Krishna says, I am the compiler of the Vedas, and from the Vedas, I am to be known. That is the whole purpose. First important point, that Vedas are not written by just ordinary people. It's given by, it's compiled by Krishna himself, his literary incarnation, Srila Vyasadeva. And what is the purpose of all the Vedic literatures, all the Puranas, all the Upanishads, everything? To know Krishna. That is the whole purpose of the Vedas. So people in general, they do definitely need proof. Show me God, then I will believe in God. Who are you? Why should God show himself to you? Qualify yourself to see God. This is what Srila Prabhupada says. We must act in such a way that Krishna will see us. We should act in such a way that Krishna will become conscious of us. And how is that possible? By us becoming conscious of Krishna. This is the process. So here in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see that Krishna is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. Next verse 85. Bhagavata Bharata Shastra Agama Purana Chaitanya Krishna Avatare Prakata Pramana. Translation. Srimad Bhagavatam, the Mahabharat, the Puranas, and other Vedic literatures all give evidence to prove that Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the incarnation of Krishna. Again, some more reference, reminders. We forget. Okay, we forget one verse. There's another verse that reminds us that Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are the same. So, when the scriptures clearly tell us that Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are the same, does it become easy for us to preach?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. Yes, it depends on the receiver. It depends how much faith that person has. It depends on how much knowledge that person has acquired, and also depends on how much we are dependent on Guru and Krishna. This morning, as last time, if I don't know if you'll remember, I mentioned that my sister has started preaching now. Did I mention that? Yes. Yes, I mentioned that. So today morning she called me and she said, yesterday when I preached, I was not satisfied. What a realization, right? It's not that we prepare a lecture, say it, and we are done. No. And she told me the reason. So before she started preaching, I had explained to her that when we are distributing knowledge about Krishna, we must first of all offer obeisances to the spiritual master and Krishna himself. We should do that because who is speaking? How does all this knowledge come to us? As a parrot, we can repeat, no problem. We prepare, we repeat, and we are done. But is it bringing realization in others? Are others able to understand? And she said, I forgot to offer obeisances to Guru and Krishna. And that is why I think it was not good preaching. And it was a realization for me that she at least took that instruction seriously and accepted it. And she herself experienced it. And she said, this morning when I spoke, I made sure that I offer obeisances. And this is what I told this person. Do you think it's right? Who is doing all this? It's the Paramatma within the heart. It's the Paramatma within the heart who is guiding someone to give the knowledge, and Paramatma in the heart of those who are hearing this knowledge. So here we have so much evidence that the Krishna is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, and whatever knowledge is given in the Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all the Vedic scriptures. All we have to do is accept it. That's it. Next verse, number 85. Pratyakshe dekha nana prakata prabhava alaukika karma alaukika anubhava. Translation. One can also directly see Lord Chaitanya's manifest influence in his uncommon deeds and uncommon Krishna conscious realization. How merciful is the Lord? He's taking a position of a devotee and practicing bhakti just to show us how to do bhakti. That's very, very compassionate. Right? If he wanted, he would have said, here's Bhagavad Gita, here's Bhagavatam, go teach yourself. Go do whatever, learn yourself. No, giving us practical example, showing us how to practically apply Krishna consciousness. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was on this planet, He, of course, showed his uncommon deeds, especially to his very close associates. He showed them, right, the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He did uncommon things. Even right from childhood, we could see that he did so many uncommon deeds, and that's what is mentioned here in this verse, an uncommon Krishna conscious realization. He manifested himself to show, I am Krishna. There is no difference between me and Krishna. And when this verse is talking about uncommon deeds and uncommon Krishna conscious realization, only the Supreme Personality of Godhead can do that. Because he's the Lord, he can do that. So we can see from the mood and uncommon deeds of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he is Krishna himself, and he gave a very simple process: chanting, dancing, feasting. Who doesn't like that? Everybody loves prasadam. Does anyone ever say, no, I can skip prasadam? I know there are rasgullas, gulab jamun, samosa. No, but I think I don't like. Anyone says that? No, as soon as it's prasadam time, there's deep meditation. What is in the buffet? What is it? What are the things that I like? And what are the things mostly there are no things that we don't like. Maybe for health reason, we may not be able to eat it, but it's deep meditation. If only we can switch that deep meditation to
Like prasadam.
To Krishna.
To Krishna. Not from prasadam to prasadam, from prasadam to Krishna. That meditation, this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing us, and his only purpose was to show us how to love Krishna. Simple process. And then it says, when we do that, then we can directly see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's influence on our lives. When will that day come? When we can feel, we can see the influence of the Supreme Lord in our consciousness, in our lives. So what do we need for that? All that Srila Prabhupada says is we need a steady determination, we need sincerity, and we need seriousness in our spiritual life. Are we ready to pay the price for that influence?
Yes.
What is that price? It is said,
Devotion.
intense greed for it. When the senses get in touch with sense objects, what is there? There's intense greed. I want it. I got to have it. I don't have it. My friend or my neighbor or someone has it. I got to have it. So it takes just a little effort to dovetail that intense greed to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's a very good question. Do we have that intense greed? If not, then we need to contemplate on it. Why don't I have that greed? Why am I taking Krishna consciousness so lightly? Oh, okay, fine. No, there has to be an intense greed. Next verse, number 86. देखिया ना देखियत अभ तेर गण उलुके न देखिए न सूर्यरा किरण. Translation. But faithless unbelievers do not see what is clearly evident, just as owls do not see the rays of the sun. Why? Because they sleep during the day and they are awake at night, right? We have come across that in Bhagavad Gita also. What is the daytime for, right? For the yogis, nighttime for materialists, and vice versa. Right? They like to enjoy life at nighttime, whereas the yogi is taking rest. Yes, taking rest so that next day he can preach, get up and preach. But then materialists, they are sleeping. Especially on weekend, what is the wake up time?
Probably about 12.
12, exactly. Sometimes it's 2 in the afternoon. So you get breakfast and lunch together at 2 p.m. So here it says, Faithless are compared to owls. You know, the owl sleeps at night. Good. Sleeps in the day, is awake at night. So if the owl is going to be awake at night, will not see sunshine. So what will the owl think? There is no sun. He's sleeping in the daytime. Supposing I lock myself in a dark room and I don't come out, I don't open the drapes, I don't open the window, I don't let the sunshine in, and then I say there's no sun. That makes no sense at all. There is sun. There is God. But unbelievers, faithless people, they say there is no God. Why? Because they have not come in sunshine, in knowledge. Sunshine is knowledge and darkness is compared to ignorance. So they sleep during the daytime, they are awake at night, and because of ignorance, they think there is no God. So we just need to take up what you call is knowledge in the association of devotees and understand what is the purpose of human life. See, Bhagavad Gita, all these scriptures, they're very clearly given the instructions. Here in this verse, it says, it's clearly evident. There's no secret. It's not calculus for people like me who don't know so much about math. So how will I understand calculus? It's not. It's not rocket science either. It's very simple. It says it is clearly evident. Very, very clearly evident. But some don't like to see it. It is said, it is easy to wake up someone who's sleeping. You cannot wake up someone who's pretending to sleep. Cannot. Makes sense, right? Anyone sleeping, wake up easily, very just say something or shake that person and that person is up. But if you're pretending, no matter you blow horns or you bring an elephant or whatever you do, that person is not going to wake up. Pretender. So we have a choice whether we want to take up Krishna consciousness seriously or not. Next verse, 87. Tvam Shila Rupa Charite Parama Prakashthai Satvena Sattvi Kataya Prabhaischa Shastre Prakhyadaiva Paramartha Vedam Mataischa Naivasura Prakrityaha Prabhavanti Bodham. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. O my Lord, those influenced by demoniac principles cannot realize you, although you are clearly the supreme by dint of your exalted activities, forms, character, and uncommon power, which are confirmed by all the revealed scriptures in the quality of goodness and the celebrated transcendentalists in the divine nature. Excuse me, allergies have started. Thank you for reminding me. Allergies have started. Purport. This is a verse from the Stotra Ratna 12 of Yamunacharya, the spiritual master of Ramanujacharya. The authentic scriptures describe the transcendental activities, features, form, and qualities of Krishna. And Krishna explains himself in the Bhagavad Gita, the most authentic scripture in the world. He is further explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, which is considered the explanation of the Vedanta Sutra. Lord Krishna is accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by these authentic scriptures, not simply by vox populi. In the modern age, a certain class of fools think that they can vote anyone into the position of God, as they can vote a man into the position of a political executive head. But the transcendental Supreme Personality of Godhead is perfectly described in the authentic scriptures. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that only fools deride him, thinking that anyone can speak like Krishna. Even according to historical references, Krishna's activities are most uncommon. Krishna has affirmed, I am God, and he has acted accordingly. Mayavadis think that everyone can claim to be God, but that is their illusion, for no one else can perform such extraordinary activities as Krishna. When he was a child on the lap of his mother, he killed the demon Putana. Then he killed the demons Trinavarta, Vatsasura, and Baka. When he was a little more grown up, he killed the demons Aghasur and Rishabhasur. Therefore, God is God from the very beginning. The idea that someone can become God by meditation is ridiculous. By hard endeavor, one may realize his godly nature, but he will never become God. The asuras or demons who think that anyone can become God are condemned. The authentic scriptures are compiled by personalities like Vyasadeva, Narada, Asita, and Parashara, who are not ordinary men. All the followers of the Vedic way of life have accepted these famous personalities whose authentic scriptures conform to the Vedic literature. Nevertheless, the demoniac do not believe their statements and they purposely oppose the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotees. Today, it is fashionable for common men to write whimsical words as so-called incarnations of God and be accepted as authentic by other common men. This demoniac mentality is condemned in the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, wherein it is said that those who are miscreants and the lowest of mankind, who are fools and asses, cannot accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead because of their demoniac nature. They are compared to ulukas or owls who cannot open their eyes in the sunlight. Because they cannot bear the sunlight, they hide themselves from it and never see it. They cannot believe that there is such illumination. What a powerful purport by Srila Prabhupada, explaining so nicely. He's talking so much about the demoniac mentality, demoniac nature. In Bhagavad Gita, there's a whole chapter on that, the divine and demoniac nature. So from that, we can gauge ourselves. We can see what are the qualities that we have from these. Are we divine or are we demoniac in nature? So divine qualities will help us to realize Krishna, and demoniac qualities will take us away from Krishna, will make us impersonalists or Mayavadis who do not believe in Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the scriptures have already given us a lot of references. Who is God? If you remember, 6 qualifications: Aishwarasya, Samagrasya, Virasya, Yashashriya, right? 6 qualities that Parashar Muni says clearly states who is God. And Krishna has all those 6 qualities in Samagrasya, in full. Not little bit, like little beautiful, little wealthy. No, full, in full. So the scriptures clearly tell us, and we see that this particular verse is spoken by Yamunacharya, who is disciple of Ramanujacharya. Sorry, he's a
spiritual master.
wake up, wake up. He is, so Yamunacharya is the spiritual master of Ramanujacharya. See, this is Kali Yuga memory. We just read it in the verse, the very first line, and we forgot. Just one minute ago, maybe 2 minutes ago, because the purport was very long. By the time we ask the last sentence of the purport, we will know it. Why? Because we just heard it. That is Kali Yuga memory. What to do? We all are in the same boat. All of us.
You have to write everything down.
Yes, that's what I do. I put it in writing. Otherwise, it's not possible. There's so much knowledge. But what is the essence of all this knowledge? Love Krishna. Yes, to love Krishna. That's about it. So we have heard about Krishna. We have read about Krishna, all the Krishna Katha, especially the Krishna book that Srila Prabhupada has given us, right? That Krishna book that has so many pastimes of Krishna, about killing of Putana, Aghasura, Bakasura, so many demons. We have learned from the scriptures, the form, the pastime, the qualities of the Supreme Personality. We have all this knowledge, so many references. And the first created being, Lord Brahma, he himself, as soon as he was created, the first thing after austerities, what did he say? Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vika. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srimad Bhagavatam says that. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself says, I am God. So we cannot accept others as God. Like it's very common in India. Anyone who, dresses up in a particular way or shows some miracle or something, oh, this is God. Then everyone comes and starts worshipping. Someone had told me this story. I believe it was in a movie or something. One of you mentioned that you take a piece of rock, you keep it under a tree, and you put some flowers and you put some tilak on it, and you put some change, some money, cash over there. People think that is God. Everybody starts coming in line to worship that rock. Where is the reference from the scriptures? So it cannot, and what is the meaning of God? If you look up in the dictionary, supreme being, only one, singular, no one equal to him and no one above him. That is God. So if there are so many gods, that's ridiculous. And that is what Srila Prabhupada says in the purport. It's ridiculous.
Mother Gita, can I
Yes.
ask you a question?
Yes.
So if you worship some part of nature, like a rock or a tree or flowers or something like that, grass, some part of nature, Krishna says everything emanates from me. So you wouldn't be in as much trouble maybe worshiping some part of nature as you would worshiping another living entity.
Now, when you say worshiping nature, it has to be used in Krishna's service. Say, for instance, beautiful flowers, it's a mercy of Krishna. It comes from Krishna. He's the one who's created. So if we offer those flowers, take articles from nature and offer them to Krishna, worship Krishna, that is worshiping. Everything is included.
I guess what the question I'm trying to ask, I guess I'm not saying that. The question I'm trying to ask is that if you're worshiping some part of nature like a rock or flowers or something like that, you're really not missing Krishna as much as you would if you were worshiping another human being.
No, I don't think we should be worshiping another human being, and neither worshiping the nature, because Prabhupada says that we should be conscious of the fact that this material nature is the creation of the Supreme Lord and should be used in Krishna's service. That is the consciousness we have, but we don't have to go around worshiping the trees or the rocks and all.
No, I understand.
Yes.
I understand.
Yes.
He says, what is the root of the plant and everything else?
Yes, just be conscious. Like Prabhupada even mentioned, if a drunkard, when he's drinking and he says, oh, the taste is Krishna, he's progressing.
I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so the idea is to be conscious that everything belongs to him and we use everything in his service. Sure. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada even talks about these miscreants, right? There is this verse in the Bhagavad Gita. What is that verse? Namam dushkriti no mudha prapandadye naradhama. Right? There are 4 kinds of miscreants who do not worship Krishna, who do not surrender to the Supreme Lord. And that is what he's talking about. Those, they are compared to lowest of mankind, fools and asses, and someone whose knowledge is stolen by Maya, by illusion. So many references are given to us so that we do not go by blind faith. It has to be that Trinity, Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Whatever we are saying, whatever we are preaching, it has to be what the Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra say, not our own interpretations. Whereas the miscreants, first of all, they don't believe in God. They don't surrender to the Supreme Lord. And their philosophy is also topsy-turvy. It's not according to the scriptures. So there are many fools, like Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, avajananti mamudha. That's what Prabhupada also mentions in the purport. The fools, they deride Krishna when he comes down in the human form. Why? Because they don't have faith. There's no faith. And once we have faith, then it's important that we build on it. We make it more firm. It should not be so soft that it can easily be led away from the Supreme Lord. That also should not happen. And to make it strong, firm faith, we need association of devotees. That is very, very important. Of course, there are some who like to remain in illusion. Like someone told me in many years ago in a Bhagavad Gita class, he's telling me, what's your problem? I want to become a bulldog in my next life. I said, Krishna will say, tathastu, that is what you want, that is what you become, if that is your consciousness. Yesterday, I was, where was I? I was in the mall yesterday, and I was standing in the line, and there I saw a young boy and girl in front of me, and I wasn't deliberately looking, but your eyes go, it's just something what they are seeing on their phone, and the whole photo gallery was full of cats. And they were enjoying the videos of the cat and different poses of the cat and different outfits of the cat. And that is a consciousness. If we worship animals, that is the consciousness we will get. And that is what Krishna says. Huh? Yes. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam, whatever we think at the time of death. And that is what, and then she's showing him, look, oh my God, so cute. Look at my cat. She jumped over there and did this and did that. That is a consciousness we will get. And that was literally worshiping the animal, worshiping, literally. Like you were telling, worshiping the nature, worshiping other living entities. Some worship their parents as God. I remember in Bombay, we used to go to, what is that called? Suburbs of Bombay. When we would go for preaching, there was this picture of a father. I think it was Mr. Patel's house. It was a picture of father. And they would ask us to bow down to that father and, offer obeisances and worship that father, because he would say, my father is God. So every day we have to offer incense and arti and everything. That is a consciousness. But here scriptures are clearly giving us reference. Who is God? Who is God?
Mother Gita,
Yes.
I've seen I don't even know if you would call them devotees, but I've seen people offer fruits and incense and prayers to their father, their parents, deceased, whatever. It's like ancestral respect and worship or whatever. So that's done, correct?
See, the right way would be that, yes, if your father is deceased, you want to keep a picture, sure, keep it. But don't keep the picture in the temple, in the altar.
Oh, okay.
Right? Yes, as a memory, okay, you have pictures of your parents, maybe kept somewhere in the house, whatever, because you like it, but don't worship them as God.
Well, as God, but I mean, there's such thing as ancestral work, puja, whatever you want to call it.
No, those pujas I think happen on certain days, once a year.
Okay.
It's starting now, 21st, I think.
Yes, in the month of Shraddh, there are some pujas you can do. But what does Srila Prabhupada say in one of the purports in Bhagavad Gita? He clearly says, those who worship Krishna, everything is included in that. You don't need to do anything separately. And Prabhupada gives two nice examples. Water the root of the tree and the whole tree gets nourished. Put food in the mouth, the stomach, and the whole body gets nourished. And that is what it is. So we don't need to separately worship our parents. That is not mentioned anywhere in the scriptures. But that
Even
puja,
Shraddha, you worship the Lord, so that the soul goes
yes,
back to him.
yes, this is helping them, you know.
To
So
worship the-
yes,
not
yes,
themselves, but the Supreme.
yes, that consciousness has to be there, that Krishna is God. Krishna is God, and my father is just another living entity. So in Vedas, there are so many pujas and rituals mentioned for different purpose. But Srila Prabhupada says, simple is worship me, everyone else will be satisfied. All the demigods will be satisfied, everyone will be satisfied. Sure. So all we have to do is just follow evam parampara praptam. Whatever knowledge is coming down in the disciplic succession, we just take that and then we are safe. Just like if I want to go to India, I need to buy a ticket. If I buy it from a reliable source, a bona fide source, I don't have to worry, because on that day when I go to the airport, no one will bounce me, no one will throw me out, because I have a very bona fide ticket. But if I just go and say, oh, Premanjali, give me a ticket to India, please. And you say, oh, yeah, sure, here's the ticket. What will happen? I won't be able to fly. You won't accept because you're not a bona fide agent or you're not the bona fide airline. So everything is given in the scriptures, and Prabhupada mentions in the purport that great personalities have given us these scriptures, like Srila Vyasadeva, who's Krishna himself, incarnation of Krishna. He has given us the Vedas, and he's given us also the purpose of the Vedas is to know Krishna. And then he also talks about in this verse, which we read, excuse me, in verse number 87, which we just read, he says that by dint of your exalted activities forms character and uncommon power, which are revealed, already confirmed in the revealed scriptures. It's already mentioned in the scriptures. Can anyone lift Govardhan Hill? No. A little boy on the tip of his little finger's nail, he's lifting Govardhan Hill for 7 days, 7 nights. Only God can do that. No one else can. So these are the uncommon, this is the uncommon power that he is talking about. And Srila Prabhupada also mentions that there are a lot of bogus gurus around. Give me $100, I'll give you a secret mantra.
I worked for a client like that.
Oh,
She bought a mantra for herself and her son, and they would chant it every day.
did you find out what that mantra is?
No, I didn't. I didn't cry. I didn't cry like that. You know, I was practicing.
It's a good point to start preaching.
Well, I worked for her. I didn't want
I know
teach
you
her.
didn't want to put you don't want to bring in that in a professional life. Yes, sometimes you can't do that. You can't just go to the office and open Bhagavad Gita and say, okay, come on, everyone, sit down. I'm going to talk about Bhagavad Gita.
Like Prahlad Maharaj.
Yes, you can do that. That is Prahlad Maharaj. Yes. And that was in that yuga, not in Kali Yuga. Fallen people in Kali Yuga. So Prabhupada says there are many bogus gurus, bogus gods, not gurus, but gods, bogus gods roaming around saying, I'm God, I'm God, I'm God. Let's go to the next verse, number 88. अपना लुकैते कृष्ण नाना यत्न करे तथापि तन्हारा भक्त जानाये तन्हारे. Translation: Lord Sri Krishna tries to hide himself in various ways, but nevertheless his pure devotees know him as he is. This is a result of pure devotion. You can know Krishna as he is. You can see him. If you remember, I remember hearing one time that when Srila Prabhupada was doing Arati, all of a sudden he asked his disciple, bring a chair, Narad Muni has come. He can see. Pure devotion. This is the formula for pure devotion, so that we can see Krishna. And that means no shortcuts. No shortcuts means, oh, today I didn't get enough time. I haven't finished my rounds and it's almost 9 p.m. What should I do? Hare Krishna, Hare Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram Ram, Hare I finished my 16 rounds. That's a shortcut. That's not going to give any benefit at all. Like we were listening to Srila Prabhupada chanting before we started the class. It's so clear, very, very clearly chanting loud enough so that we can hear the sound vibrations. And to be able to see Krishna, that effort is very, very important. We need to come to that pure level of devotion, become a pure devotee, come to Shuddha Sattva platform, the pure goodness platform. In fact, Lord Brahma, in his Brahma Samhita, he says, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Yanta Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Gunaswarupam Govindam Adi Purusham Tam Aham Bhaja. We have to have that Anjana means ointment of love. Prema Anjana, you know, in India it's very common. I don't know if they do here. They put ointment in the eye, the kajal, it's called kajal, ointment in the eye, black color, to make the eyes look beautiful.
Oh,
It's like a
eyeliner.
Yeah.
eyeliner. Yes, eyeliner. Yes. So that if that eyeliner is made of love, only then with that vision we can see Krishna. That means Krishna's vision is possible only when there is love in the eyes. Just like if I have sunglasses which are gray, or I have glasses which are red, I'll see everything red. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. For me, everything is red. Whose fault is it? Eyeglasses. I can't just keep saying, what is the color of your dress? Blue. No, it's red. I'm saying it's red because I'm seeing it red. So we have to have vision of love. Then we will be able to see Krishna. And that is what Srila Prabhupada has given us, that easy process by which we can come to the level of pure bhakti. And Krishna, he cannot, in the verse says, Krishna cannot hide from his pure devotees. He may try. Bilva Mangala Thakur, even though he was blind, right? He could tell Krishna is sitting next to him. That love for Krishna was there, that worship was there. So only with pure devotional service can we know Krishna. Otherwise, we are in illusion. Can we reach that stage?
Yes.
Yes, we can. All we need to do is chant attentively. Let's add to that. Chant attentively, then it'll be possible. Let's take the last verse for today, number 89. Ulanghita trividha sima samatishai sambhavanam tava parivradhim swabhavam maya balena bhavatapi nighuyamanam pashyanti kechid anisham tuvad ananya bhavaha. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Oh my Lord, everything within material nature is limited by time, space, and thought. Your characteristics, however, being unequaled and unsurpassed, are always transcendental to such limitations. You sometimes cover such characteristics by your own energy, but nevertheless, your unalloyed devotees are always able to see you under all circumstances. Purport. This verse is also quoted from Stotra Ratna, number 13 of Yamunacharya. Everything covered by the influence of Maya is within the limited boundaries of space, time, and thought. Even the greatest manifestation we can conceive, the sky, also has limitations. From the authentic scriptures, however, it is evident that beyond the sky is a covering of 7 layers, each 10 times thicker than the one preceding it. The covering layers are vast, but with or without coverings, space is limited. Our power to think about space and time is also limited. Time is eternal. We may imagine billions and trillions of years, but that will still be an inadequate estimate of the extent of time. Our imperfect senses therefore cannot think of the greatness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, nor can we bring him within the limitations of time or our thinking power. His position is accordingly described by the word ulanghita. He is transcendental to space, time, and thought. Although he appears within them, he exists transcendentally. Even when the Lord's transcendental existence is disguised by space, time, and thought, however, pure devotees of the Supreme Lord can see him in his personal features beyond space, time, and thought. In other words, even though the Lord is not visible to the eyes of ordinary men, those who are beyond the covering layers because of their transcendental devotional service can still see him. The sun may appear covered by a cloud, but actually it is in the eyes of the tiny people below the cloud that are covered, not the sun. If those tiny people rose above the cloud in an airplane, they could then see the sunshine and the sun without impediment. Similarly, although the covering of Maya is very strong, Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Devi hi esha gunamai mama maya duratyaya mam eva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. The divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. To surpass the influence of the illusory energy is very difficult, but those who are determined to catch hold of the lotus feet of the Lord are freed from the clutches of Maya. Therefore, pure devotees can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but demons, because of their miscreant behavior, cannot understand the Lord, in spite of seeing the many revealed scriptures and the uncommon activities of the Lord. See? Very, very easy. So simple and easy. Everything is limited. Everything. And we being limited, our knowledge being limited, we cannot see beyond. But pure devotees, they can even go beyond space, time, and thought. This is the purport of this verse. And here, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is being praised for his transcendental position. He is covered for those who are not pure, but he is uncovered for those who are pure. And so only unalloyed devotees can see Krishna, which means pure devotees can see Krishna. They can see Krishna even in the deity form. When we go to the temple, what do we see? We see deities, but pure devotees see Krishna standing there right in front, Radha and Krishna. Shishi Nitai Gaurchand, right there, Baladev, Subhadra, and Jagannath. They're all right there. They can see. That is what he's talking about. So we, have heard in Bhagavad Gita that our transcendental position is to be servant of the Supreme Lord. Krishna consciousness is within us, but we have forgotten. It's just a revival. Srila Prabhupada took all this effort to revive Krishna consciousness within us so that we can also become purified. So when we do that, when we take on this process of Srila Prabhupada, then the curtain of Maya will be removed. Then we will see things as they are. Otherwise, it'll be seeing through tinted glasses, and based on the color of the glasses that we wear, we'll see everything in that same nature. There will be no change. So if we somehow or the other can surrender to Guru and Krishna, how do we surrender to Guru? By following his instructions. What is he trying? Why is he giving us instructions? So that we can develop love for Krishna, so that we can surrender unto the lotus feet of Krishna. Now, in this purpose, Srila Prabhupada gives such a nice example of the sun. It's cloudy. We say there's no sun, but the sun is there above the clouds. So we tiny little people here are looking at the clouds and saying no sun. But if we go in an airplane above the clouds, we see, oh, there is sun. It's not that the sun is not there. So similarly, Krishna is there. It's just we tiny people cannot see. Just because we cannot see, we cannot say there is no Krishna, there is no God. We cannot say that. So that covering that we have in general is covering of Maya, and that covering needs to be removed. Just like cataract. When there's cataract in the eyes, it's very difficult to dry because of impaired vision. It's not clear. But the moment the cataract is removed, we say, aha, I can see everything. I don't even need glasses. Because of course they put a new lens inside at the time of cataract surgery. So then you can see everything very clearly. So is it that everything is unclear in the world? No, it's our vision that is unclear. It's because of cataract. So all we have to do is remove that covering of Maya. Then we will be able to see Krishna as he is. And of course, based on our endeavors, he is going to give us his mercy. Ye yatha ma prapadyante tam sthataiva bhajamyam. As we surrender unto him, he will reward us accordingly. Now in this purport, Srila Prabhupada is talking about Devi Esha Gunamai. He says this divine energy of mine is very difficult to overcome, making it very clear. Don't think that bhakti is going to be a bed of roses. It's going to be an easy zoom slide, to Krishna Loka. No. It is difficult to overcome. But he says, those who surrender unto me, they can easily cross over it, this material world. So for that, we need to have a lot of determination, catch hold of the lotus feet of Guru and Krishna, surrender unto them, follow the instructions given by them, become 100% Krishna conscious, and then we will be able to see Krishna. Otherwise, it will not be possible. So I'm going to end here at verse number 89. If anyone has any questions.